Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Ammara and I'm currently doing a doctorate in counseling psychology and psychotherapy, a joint program by Middlesex University and Metanoia Institute in London. This is actually my first proper video about my training, and I thought that I would share by what my first week has really been like. It would be a good start because honestly, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. If you are someone who is thinking about applying for the doctorate, or you are just curious about what it's like to start this kind of journey, I hope this gives you a bit of an insight. So, yeah, it still feels a bit surreal to say I'm a counseling psychology trainee. It's something I wanted for years. But now that I'm actually here, I can already tell it's going to be one of the most challenging, emotional, and rewarding experiences I have ever heard or I have ever had. So, my first week being intense, if I'm honest, quite emotional, a little overwhelming at times, but also really beautiful. So, in today's video, I just want to talk you through what it's really been like, not the polished or textbook version, but the real stuff, what it genuinely feels like to start training as a counseling psychologist and psychotherapist. So, going into the doctorate, I would be honest, I had a picture in my head that it is going to be a very academic, really, I thought that there will be a lot of lectures, lots of readings, PowerPoints, big words being thrown around. That kind of thing was in my mind. I imagined spending some of my time buried in books, learning about different theory models, analyzing theory, and probably writing endless essays. And yes, there's definitely that side of it. In our first week, we have already been introduced to some of the main frameworks like the humanistic approach, psychodynamic theory, CPT, and a few others. I will surely come up with these theories later on in my another video. Um, but what really surprised me that I wasn't expecting this at all, that how quickly it became personal. I mean that we know that psychology isn't just about theory, it's about people. And that's always stuck with me, that psychology is about people. And I realized this so much, and I realized that it is so true that you can memorize every model and intervention under the sun. But if you don't actually understand yourself, your own emotions, your or connection, how you connect with others, it doesn't really land. So we were encouraged straight away to start reflecting on ourselves, our values, our assumptions, even how we respond emotionally during the discussions in a group. And honestly, that was quite uncomfortable at first. You suddenly realize you can't hide behind theory. You are a part of the work. Also, something I found, I want to mention that's another part of our lectures. Really interesting was that in our first week we were introduced to the research side of the doctorate too. That is really important. But we talked about how research and practice aren't separate, they actually feed into each other. So, for example, I say that something that happens with a client might spark a question and that question could turn into research. Then that research can help us improve how we practice. So it's a full circle, really. So, yeah, I have already learned quite a bit in just 1 week, and honestly, it's not really about the textbooks or the theories, it's about the experience itself. If you are thinking about doing the doctorate in counseling psychology, there are few things that I have realized quite quickly that might help you know what to expect in this degree. First of all, real learning is emotional. You don't just sit there memorizing concept, you have to feel them. When we talk about things like empathy, congruence, and boundaries, it's not just theory on a PowerPoint. You are actually experiencing it right there in the class or in your own reflection. And there's the moment when the theory suddenly become personal and it hits you. Oh, this is what actually means. Believe me, it's beautiful, but also quite challenging at times. The second one is that reflection is everything. We were encouraged from every tutor every time that we have to keep a reflective journal, and I have genuinely found it so valuable. I just started it and it's so valuable. I have been writing in mine every evening. None, Nothing fancy, just a few notes about what stood out that today, what challenged me, and how I felt about it. It's so amazing how much insight you gain just by writing things down. You will start see patterns, connect ideas from theories to your own reflection, and notice where you are growing. And I think that it is one of those habits that really makes you think, I'm not just learning psychology, I'm learning about myself. And the third thing I mentioned, that you are part of the work. This means that I think this is one of the biggest eye openers so far for me. Who you are, your background, your culture, your beliefs, your story, these all things shape how you show up in the therapy room. This course doesn't ask you to leave any of that at the door. It actually invites you to explore it, to understand yourself, so you can work more consciously and compassionately with others. It's a bit of reality check at first because you start seeing how your own stuff comes into play, but it's also feel freeing you because you realize you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be aware, open, and willing to grow. So, yeah, if you are thinking about doing this doctorate, you just know it's only about becoming a psychologist. Not only about becoming a psychologist, it's about becoming you in the most self aware, grounded way possible. So, yeah, that's been my first week as a doctorate trainee in counseling psychology and psychotherapy. It's been a challenging, emotional, and honestly speaking, an eye opening. But I can already tell it's going to be such a meaningful journey. There's so much growth ahead I can see, both personally and professionally. And I'm also looking forward to sharing bits of that along the journey. I will be posting more videos about the process, things like what we are learning, how I'm balancing research with personal therapy, my placements, and just what a day to be in the life look like as a trainee counseling psychologist. So, if you are interested in psychology, self development, or maybe you are thinking about applying to a doctorate in counseling psychology yourself, to hit subscribe, share, and I will be doing more videos about things like little things like I wish I would know before I started my degree. And honestly, I would love to hear from you. I would make videos on the application process, interviews, placements, and all the little things. And do let me know in the comment section below on what topics would you like to talk me about next. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.